Hi guys, okay, today is our first tutorial on responsive web page, how to design a responsive web page, and I'm going to be doing this tutorial today, how we can create this responsive web page together and how you can create it all by yourselves. But all I want you to know is that you don't really have to worry much whether you have been programming before or you have not programmed at all, or you are programmed for just for a little while. I'm going to take my time in the typing of this responsive web design uh, so that you can understand everything that we do and how to do. So before then, I just want to show you how this page works. All these things, they are connected. They are all connected to a page, and which I will be teaching you also in some tutorial to come how it works. But for today, we are going to create this responsive web page. All these animations, we are also going to include it. Everything that you see here, we are going to create it all by ourselves. And I just want to show you how it is very, very much responsive. Okay, you see. So this page, it works very, very well. And you are going to create this today after watching this tutorial. Now, before we proceed to our making of the responsive web page, I just want to take you to a few important things. Uh, on this channel, there are some languages that will be taught, and I just want you to know so that you can click down the notifications button. First of all, you can subscribe, and then you click down the notifications button. I also need you to leave comment below for more videos, or for some other thing you don't understand, or some other thing that is said in this tutorial or some other tutorial on this channel that is not right. You can also help. We are here to share knowledge together. So before then, I just want you to see some of the languages that will be taught on this tutorial, which is JavaScript, the HTML language, hypertext maker language, the CSS. We will also be doing some Java animations, C++ language, the C language, and I will also be teaching you some bit part of database, because after all we have made all of these tutorial, we need to link it with a database so that we can get some informations. So I will also be teaching you some part of database language, and so you can understand how database work with JavaScript uh, and some other languages like Python and some others. I will also be teaching you like Python, which will help in between of our in making the web page, and that of some other part of JavaScript to link in between so that our informations can be very smooth in making our web page. And maybe there are some other languages that you, or some other thing that you want, and they are not listed here. You can also comment below. This is what I ask you for: comment on anything, the tutorial videos that you want. But please subscribe, and this is the only way you can support this channel, and this is the only way we can do together as one. Anything that you don't understand from this tutorial, just comment below. I will respond to you. So now let's move to our tutorial making of the responsive web page so that you can know and how to make this page all by yourselves, how everything here works collectively. Yeah, so now let's move to our tutorial. Okay, before then we begin the tutorial, I just want you to know like the compiler we are using to create this tutorial. We are using Visual Studio Code, and maybe some of you don't have, you can download this compiler, which I will be using to do most of my tutorial. You can also use some other compiler of your choice, which is fine with me. But as for this tutorial, I will be using this compiler, and you can download this. You can download the Windows version or the Mac version for IPO and some other. For Linux, you can also download, you can search and you download the 64-bit, any one of your choice, even the 32-bit, it all works better. So for me, I don't need to download it because I've already downloaded it before, and this is it. We can open it, and this is the part of our code that make up the responsive web page design. I just want you to see so that when we run it, it goes directly to our web page. And this is also linked with Google. Yeah. Now let's begin our tutorial in making of our responsive web page. Okay. Okay. But first of all, if like you just downloaded this compiler to work with, I just want you to like know how to use it, or if you know how to, it's fine. But for the clarity of the doubt, you come here and you open new window. Okay, now you have opened new window. You can like create a folder. You get the name of the folder you want and so on, but I don't really need to do this. After you have created this folder, you just come and add new page or new file, and then like you can have the options to create some other classes. But I don't really need to create this because I've already created a folder before. So if you have created some folder before just like me, all you need to do is you come right here where you have your folder name. Right here you click the mouse and like you give the page name you want to create. So maybe mine for this tutorial I will just give a web page, or let's say web design. Yeah, web design, and then under the language you want to give the name of the page, because in this compiler there are three languages, although there are some other languages you can use here, but we for most cases you got like people use three, which is CSS and that of HTML and JavaScript. So I just use the HTML, which is very good. It works for all. It works for all three. So, but before then you put dash like this, and then you just put HTML, and then as you put the language name, it will appear. The color of this will change, and or let's just see maybe for CSS, you will see this design or some other design. Yeah, or you put for JS, which is JavaScript, you always see this yellow design like that. So for this, I will use HTML, which will include every one of them at once. So HTML, and then we press OK. Now we have our new page that we can write our program. Here, this is the page. It's a very empty page, and here we can write our program. So let's begin. So you can read this. I usually, sometimes I just do it fast and I put this sign. Really, sometimes like when you are programming at times and you want to make things how to work very fast and things. But don't worry, I'm not going to work fast in this tutorial because I want to teach you so that you can understand everything that I will do here, what I will say. But you can just tap this after you have read like something. You just read this and then you press OK, and then automatically this will come up. It's just like a web page that you can load. This is the hypertext maker language page that you can load. It's an empty page. You see here is empty. This is the page we just created, webdesign.html. This is the page name. It's empty, nothing on it. So you can know that there is nothing here to worry about. So you can tap this, everything that is here, just in case you don't know the pattern of how to read it fast. Like what I did just now. You put this sound, the punctuation sound, and then like you press OK, and then automatically once you are using this compiler, which I know, this will come. Or you can read this all by yourself, and then we continue. So after reading all this, all you need to do is start to insert all of your classes you want in this tutorial. So like you come here, you say you write star, like right here in the middle of the body. You come, you write uh now in the middle of the body you write style. This style here is where you will be writing your CSS for the web, the design of the page, how the page should look and how it should be resized and everything about the design of the page. Yes. And then under this body where you will write your HTML sentences or your HTML language, anyone you like, and this will do like the structure of the page and things. And at some cases, other people usually like what they do is that when they are working with a very large program, they create a separate files wherein they can put their CSS class. The HTML class is different and that of the JavaScript class is different. But here I'm just going to do it in once, and you will understand. Don't worry much. You will understand everything that I do here step by step. You will understand. But at some cases when people are working with very large program and large amount of codes, they usually create the classes in different pages, in different section of each pages. So but here we are going to create it in once. So before then, after creating this, after writing this, all you need to do is you come down here, you write your HTML body. So so before we proceed, this this class, which is like div and div, like class flex container. This is like HTML class, is a HTML tag, is there to contain our HTML element. Now, one important thing I want you to know is that maybe some of us don't know, or probably some of us know, which is good, but when you use flex container, is something part of on the website, like on Google, that you can like check on. Flex container is like a CSS design. This help you to like put to simplify your programming and your programming work, your code, so that you can easily understand the category in which it falls, so that if someone read your code, they can understand what you are doing and how you are doing. It's very, very good. It put your classes into category. Like what I have here for this web page, I have this section of this web page, this section from here up in one class, and here down in another class, and down here is in another class. So what I can do this, or what mostly people do this, is that, so if you want to make changes at any time in your web design or your web page, you can easily make changes without like having or confusions about changing code this way, changing code that way. Specifically, you already know where to change the code from, which class you want to change, or which sections of your programming body you want to change. So that's why at most cases people use web container. Is like a flexible side of the web page, and then like it help to contain a sections of your HTML design, section by section, but on the same page, and it helps you a lot to make changes. It's good. So I just recommend it, and as a programmer, so that you can have this good attitude of putting your work into order, so that someone can understand what you write and how is it, so you can also able to make few other changes at any time you want to. So let's continue. So after we finish writing this, this spin is like how do I say, like this one, this part of the web design here, and how like these writing are going through smoothly. Yeah, so this class is actually for this, the spinning of that HTML with the part of the animations that is like spinning the name. uh, so like this one is what we are about to create at first. So now, after you finish writing this class, all you need to do is just to insert who or the kinds of things you want for that sections of the program to spin, just for that motions. And then for me, as usual, I just like say welcome to, just say welcome to, and then there is another section of it which has to do with this one, and maybe the person name you want to like. So welcome to Shalinda. Welcome to Shalinda Balier. Welcome to Shalinda Balier Hotel. And then after that, definitely when you include all of the classes, you see it will start to spin. It just now like a statement that we have not included the CSS yet, so you cannot see any movement right now. But after all, we have created the CSS for it, then it can start to spin. So now let's move. This is another part of the sessions which has to do with like this one that you see. Just wait. This one that you see, like this rating, usually comes in motions and then like passes back. after every time it come back and pass like that. These are all things that make the page very very much good and very advanced as compared to other web pages. So you just read this statement, mark you, and you write whatsoever you want to put inside. So for example, we just put RM RMA RMA programmer, and then now it just start to like come. We are not include the CSS so that you can see the design and then to change the color, but automatically it has started to come. You see, it has started to come, and then it will pass back because that's the instruction for it. It's the queue. So whatsoever you tell it to do, it just pass down the instruction in a motion form. So you can write anything you want to write there, anything as a sentence you want. Maybe on your web page you want like as like informations you want for your viewer to see, just like that you can write in this space. It shouldn't be mine only. You can write anything that pleases you. It's fine. This is just our example. As we proceed, you will come through some other examples that will help to make this page a responsive web page and for you to understand very very much well how to create this page. Okay. So like now I've written mine, like what I want to be and the informations that I want. This is it. There is nothing else out of this class. Everything is here. There is nothing. All these on one page, and this is the instructions I want, like the management, hotel management, and welcome to Shalina Hotel Management, and the name of the hotel, Shalina K Bali. This is the hotel we are creating the page for, and some other instructions that helps to best suit our customers when he or she wants to come to the hotel. This is it. And the number, the contact of this hotel. This contact too is also like my personal contact, which you can get to me just in case of some other personal issues with your programming that I can help. You can also contact me on this number. Yeah. And you can, other than that, you can also like contact me on this, which is 18652058250. Yes, this is my other number. You can contact me, but any one of them is good. So now this is the instructions for the search and book. Depends on the hotel you want to search. Yeah. So like now let's see how it works. Okay, so now this is what we have from what we just make. This is the instructions, and welcome to Shalenda Business Center. Your need is our concern. Our service is open to you, and then anytime you need a service is open to your needs. And this is the contact, my contact number, and that of book, the hotel. So these are all the instructions just from what we saw from the previous web page. Like here, book, search and book, and then the contact. This is it, and then that of the name of the hotel, the design, the spinning design, the logo that tells like motivate people to come to the hotel, and that of the instruction down just for some other services how we work. Okay, so basically this is what we just created. I want you to see it and type it in your class. Everything you see here, just type it as exactly as it is as we move over. Okay, so let's move over to the next. So you can read this class of our program. This is it. It's another session of our program. like this one, it has to do with I'll show you, like this part of the page, like this part of the page, these sections of the page that you can click, and then you go to some other part of the program depending on what you want, depending on your choice. So it's what we just created. So you come right here back to our page, and this, you can include this class on this page. You can see I'm taking my time to do this so you can not leave anything over or pass over it. You see, we are still on the same page. You can include these sections of the page. This one helps like to link, is a link to another page. Yes, this class is like a link to another page. What I want like to be in this class, like you got news, you got administrations, you got house, you got company, you got account, you got management, business, local, and others. Just depending on anything you want in this your class. So this is just a link to another page. So as we run the program, you can see how it works. So you see, it's just like this. You see. So after we had inserted the CSS to design it, then you see how it works like the other. But now you see like it is all functional depending on if we have another class link with it. As we click on it, it will link to another page. Yes, it will link to another page automatically. By the time you click on it, it will go directly to another page. So this is how it works. Now let's come back and see the code for it, so you can read this part of the sessions, this part of our code for our web page. You see everything here is the same thing. There is nothing jump over. Please try to write everything as you see. After then you can make changes all by yourself depending on what you want to be in this class. But for me, I just want these things to be there because it's in relation with what I want to do here. So you can read this class and we proceed. Okay, so now after writing this page, this part of the sessions or this class, now we have to write each classes for it that will link the design of the page, so that we can do the designing and to section them into one category. So here now we move to our CSS for these sections of the web page design. We stop with the HTML first, and we move to the CSS to see how the design works. So now I just need you to read this here. All these things, you read them. Take your time and read them. Do not pass over anything. Read them exactly as you see them. These are the relationship of each classes. You see here you got flex container, dot flex container is just like the same thing here. Dot flex container. This is the class name. This is the class name. So you call this class here with the CSS design. You read this class, and then anything that you do under this class here, like this class, anything that you read here as an instruction under this class, definitely it is going to apply to the page. It is going to apply to the page. That is like anything you want for this class to do, it will definitely apply to the page. Let's say for name, like this one here, we got name. Okay, this name here, this class is for this name, Shalina K. Bali Hotel. So now, anything you write under this class, which is name, you call this name, like you write dot, and then you put a name, and then like this bracket, and you something. So whatsoever you write under here, it is definitely applied on the page under this session name, under this session name, this session name rather, this one, under this session name. So this is what I did, and uh, after writing this HTML part of the program, this HTML part of it, then I call each classes of the HTML tag. Here you got different kinds of classes, and depending on what you want the the page or this class to do, like if it is name, I want it to be very big, I want it to have like red color, I want it to have green color, and then this other part of the session she have yellow color, or this other part she have pink color, or how the writing information should be. So you can only do these things together on a different classes, on each classes that you got the category for on. So like this one, anything that I do on this class here, like positions should be absolute, margin should be 24 pixel, and then padding should be 22 pixel and 17 pixel. So anything that I do, as long the color should be red, it will definitely apply to this name, this Shalina K Bali Hotel. Anything that I do, it will definitely apply. It's just like the same thing as number. Anything I do, it will definitely apply to the class SSS. Yes. So just write this as exactly as you see it. All these things here, and in the same category, just like I'm writing it. So, bro, or anyone out there, please follow the instructions so that you cannot pass over anything that I write. Absolutely anything that I write, you cannot pass over. This is it. This is the code. And I just inserted this one here now. So you can see. And we move to the next. But before we move to the next, I just want you to see how it works. This class we just included. So you see, like now, I gave the color of this name to be different. You see what happens? This is the color of it is definitely changed. And then the color of this now is no more black and white. It is green because I just called the class and I changed the name and I changed the color of the class. So anything I do under the class, it will affect the web page under that category. So this is it, and this part is green. So you got Tigo, and you can right here the class is Tigo. So anything I do here, it will definitely change. Now let's do an example. Like I say, uh, yellow. No, yellow cannot really show. Let's say orange. Maybe yellow will be very brighter. Now, okay. Let's say orange. So depending on the kinds of color I want, I just like insert it here. This is dark orange. Let's say okay, this one, let's choose this, and then yeah, we can know the difference. So you see here, you just come, you run it, and then definitely it will change. You see, it will change. The motions will be the same, but then the color of the informations will change because you just change the instruction on the class. You just change the instruction on the class. So I just want you to know that anything that will affect this, the web page, it depends on this, the CSS aspect of the program, the design aspect of the program. Okay, so now let's move to the next. So we can go through some of them. Okay, so we just inserted this another class again, this one. Now the first class we inserted was this one, this one. Okay, you see? And then after that, we insert this one. Now look, this class, I need you to write this class right here. See, from this class here, you write them. Take your time and write it. Everything that you see here, you try to write them so that it can work better. So you write this, and these are all CSS classes depending on what you want, like the margin and like if you want the design to go left, you say left margin. You want it to go top, it should be at the top, you write top margin. Depending on the positions you want, the height of the design of your page, maybe the kinds of class you want, the height of it or the width of it, maybe depending on the size of your page you want the width to be or how you want your design to be. It's all about how you want the web page to be. So this is the work of CSS. A design, it tells you, or you decide with it what you want to happen on your page. Yeah. So like the kinds, sometimes like the rating, you want it like the formations of your rating and some other thing, the color, the designing. So please read this part of the session. Yeah, this part of the session. So now, after we have inserted this page, I just want you to see how it works. Yes, you see? Now, we have this gray color now. We have this color. You see? We have this color. This color now is what we have. Now, let's see here to be on track. You come right here to our class. Is something that now, just like this, is what we have here. Is what we just created. This box that make the row over the spinning of the writing or the logo. Yes, is what we have here. So now this is what we just created. Here you see the box. This is the class of the box, the inner box, and then every other thing. This is the class of the box. So you try to read it. So this is the class of the box. We just inserted the box and things like that. Okay. So having us finish inserting this box, I just want you to read this very smoothly, just as you see it. Now, from the beginning, this is it. I want you to see from step, okay, step by step here. You see, okay, 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 here, and then we reach here. So everything you see here, you try to write them. It is still on the same class, on the same page. So we move, so we can move to the next after writing this page, this part of the sessions. Okay, so let's move to the next. Okay, so like after writing all these sessions of our classes, after writing this part of the CSS that helps to do our web page, so I just want you to see them, look into them smoothly, and write everything that you see. Everything that you see here, you write it. I'm showing the marks down so you can see collectively everything that is on this page. There is nothing different here. It's just the same thing. I'm just inserting it time after another so you can see everything that is written on this page. So you got here and everything here, the time, the animations delay depending on what you want, how fast you want for the spinning of the writing to be. For me, I put 2.5 seconds. Anything you want, yeah, the margin of the writing left 100% depending on anything you want. So everything here, you just take your own time, read them. So I'm going to scroll down so you can see that nothing cannot pass over. See here from one session to another. Okay, so guys, you just like write everything that you see here. Okay, everything that you see here, you just write them. Everything you see here, just write it like you exactly as you see it. Okay, everything you see here, just write them exactly as you see it. Okay, so now after inserting all these sessions of the program. So I just want to run it so that you can see how it works. Now you see you run it here and you see what happens now. So you see now we got our rating here in the class. Every time it pass over, every time it pass over, every time you see it pass over, you see it pass over. It's like a logo design that reflect our information to the public. Every time you see it pass over. So now we come back and you look into the code. This is the code. Yeah. So depending on what you want to have, like if you want to change the color to red, definitely it will change. Yes. Depending on what you want. So if you change the color to red here, you see this class of the program, it changes to red because of the instructions you give. So basically what I want you to know is that anything you tell you want to tell the web page to do, you use like CSS, HTML. It's just like the structure of the web page. In most cases, it's just like the structure of the web page, how the web page should be, the columns and things on the web page, how you want it to be like that. But the design of it has to do with CSS. Yes, the design of it has to do with like CSS. So mainly after writing the HTML tag and other part of the HTML that will help to make the web page good, you use CSS at most cases to do the designing of the web page. Yeah. So, but JavaScript is also like used to do the back end and other things. But we are not going there that far yet. Let's finish with this part of the sessions. So after writing this, now we try to move to the next. I just want you to look at it again. Okay. So from here, I scroll down so you can see everything. Okay. Everything here is very, very much step by step. I just want you to look into it. Okay. And we come down here, right here. So this is how far we have gone. Okay. So now we move to the next to write our next class. So you can see our next class of the CSS language that will help to make our design page good. So we okay. So after writing this, that we just finished now, I just want you to see. I just now inserted this new class here, so you can see. Uh, these are all classes of our HTML, and we just call them with CSS, and then it helps to design depending on what you want, like I said. So I gave the instructions of what I want to happen, like the margin left should be 1200 pixel, and then the top should be minus. Now there are a few things I just want you to know here. Why do I put minus and up? Sometimes I move the minus is that because as you put minus, the page go up. Like if you put plus and then like sometimes it comes down, or you don't put plus at all, it just remain positive. But at most cases, like if I'm reading something, if I want it to come up, like you read this and you want this to come to these positions here, at most cases, or I give you an example like this, and you want this to come to this position, just for example, on a web page, what happens is that you put minus. So this is why you see you got a minus here. And like this one where you got a background image is just something like if you want to change your background. In most cases, sometimes people can put like background color, but I always want to change my background to image. So I inserted the image in my class. This me, the image is me. Then you put the JPG depending on the kinds of pictures. Sometimes people put, others put like PNG. but in most cases I use JPG for my programs, like depending on the image. And then you put cover, background cover. This one helps too to like spread over the page, spread over the page. Now you got like the weight of the height, the weight, and the everything you want. You got a margin, and you got the positions you want it to be absolute. You give it, and then you got the background positions. You want the pictures to appear in the center of the web page. You don't want it to be on the side of the page. So you also insert this, and then here you got repeat, background repeat. Then you got no repeat. You don't want like the picture cutting into half, 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 half. No, so you don't want it to repeat. So all these instructions helps to make the page very good and very responsive. You got background size, it should cover the picture, should cover the background page, nothing should remain, or it should not be half. And then like the border, you don't want it like line on the pages, or the size of the pages you got line. No, you don't want it. And then the padding, and the padding is just like up should be uh up she come down, and then like the left she go in the center. Depends. So as you use each of these classes, after times goes by, you will actually get to understand how they work. Yeah. So after doing this tutorial, and you are mostly interested in this, I just want you to take the time to exercise yourself and to see how all these things work line by line. Yeah. If I'm explaining it this like this now, you cannot understand everything that I say exactly, except you try to apply them all by yourself. For some of us who just beginning web design, yeah, you cannot understand everything. And some of us who are already doing web design, probably I know we don't know all, but if you practice these things, you can understand. It's not all about what you see now, you can understand after then you try all by yourself. So now, before then, I just want you to see the class I just inserted. Yes, I inserted from here down, and I just want you to look into it, this part, this. So you can pause the tutorial, and then you write, just in case if I'm scrolling the mouse over faster, you can pause the tutorial, you read session by session. After this, I will also pass over so you can view every step that I made in this tutorial to make the video. So this is the part of the session. You can read them session by session. This is another background image. I will tell you after the time goes back. And then the color. So for the clarity of the doubt, because I know not everyone will understand everything that I say, so I wrote like or instructions or something like comment up so that you can understand and what this session for. Although I didn't do for all, but for those one I did, they are in much numbers, so you can understand what this session for and how this session works. Yeah. So based on my comment, you can also search on some of these things to understand it well. So now it ends here, right here. This one it ends here. Okay. So this is it. This is it, and this is it. This is another part of the sessions. Okay. So as time go back, you will actually understand. You cannot understand everything once. Now, there is one thing very important I want you to know is like this opacity. This opacity, and then you got a number 0.5, sometimes 0.1. So it's like when you want to write on an image, you want the image to be lighter, and then when you write, it's like a transparent image. You want the image to be very transparent, that another image on you can see on after you have looked at this image, like you are looking at this and you see what is on this. I will show you how it works, but before then, after writing this class, I just want you to see. Let's run it so you can see what I'm talking about. So now you see, after inserting this class, now we got this. We got this. You see, we got this. This is the sessions of our program. You see, we got this. Okay, so you see, this one we got, and everything going as smoothly as it is. You see, so now here you can do anything you want. If you want to book, and you can just click this and you book depending on what you want to do. So anything you want to do, yeah, you can click it and then it go through. If you link it now, so here now it is not linked. We are just doing it as a practice to know how you can create this all by yourselves. So now what I told you about, like the opacity. Now let's come back. I just want you to see how this really works. 0.1, let's see. So let's see how the opacity works. 0.1. So like now this is what I'm talking about. First of all, let's run this program and see. Okay, so like we see now. So like as we run this program now, we just see this. This picture is very much like in the normal form. So like what opacity does is that it tries to like make the pictures a little bit lighter. Like now let's use 0.1 and you see what happens. You see now the pictures, like the quality of the pictures has changed. It's very lighter than what it was. So at sometimes maybe like you want to write on or pictures and you want like the one that is on, like the pictures that is on top to be very much lighter and that of the one that is on to be dark. You just need to change, like you write opacity and then you write the numbers 0 point something, like anything you want, like maybe 0.7, like that it will get a little bit lighter and darker lighter and then like that. But if you write like 0.1, that means you want it very dark, or you write 0.9, then you want it at the number state, almost the number state, then you see like the color is very much dark. It's not no longer very white like it was. So that's how opacity like works. And then some of the classes, like for the index, depending on like the numbers you want, the positions of each classes is absolute. It almost apply to most of the classes depending on how the structure of the page should be, and then like the class should be in that section. Like the border none, if you don't want line after the pages, you just put none like that. So like I've said, depending on, at times goes back and you try yourself to use each of these classes, then you understand how they really work. But when we are teaching the tutorial, in most cases you don't really understand everything except you try by yourself. So if you want to be a good programmer or to have idea on these things, you need to try them all by yourself. You need to practice them. After we finish doing this, try to erase some of them, save them and you erase some of them, and you run it and you see the difference. Then you will get acquainted and you will know how all these things really works, like that. So before then, I just want to take you to the sessions and then like from page, from the beginning of the page to see, so nothing cannot pass over, so you can see like this from step to step. Like I said, please, if I'm passing over most cases, please just pause the tutorial and then write after another. Take your time to write because each of these classes, they are very important. Do not jump over. Do not write something that you want except when we finish doing this, because if you change the class name to what you want and the class name, it is different with that of the CSS and the HTML, then it becomes a problem. That you will try to miss some things. So in order to follow the instruction, just try to write exactly as you see. So like I'm scrolling the marks down from here. I'm scrolling the marks down. So step by step to see after all what we have written in this thing. Like, okay, you see? Okay. Okay, these are the classes of like the HTML, and this session is part of the CSS. Code from here and that of here is part of the CSS of this session. Now, at the beginning of the tutorial, if you could remember, I said that I use something called flex container. Flex container. I want to go there again so you can know what I'm talking about. So you can be reminded, because we need to use it now. What flex container usually does is that it helps to modify your program. It helps to put your program into sections that you cannot easily jump over things. Yes, as a good programmer, so that your work can be easily modified, and it can be simplified very, very well, and you can understand all by yourself. So if you want things to be into one column or one section, but part by part, you use flex container. Or you want things to fall into category, but under one section, you can use flex container. So for this tutorial, I actually use flex container to sections my program into some parts, so that I can easily change at any time anything I want to change. So like you see here now, like this part of the program from here, this part from here, including this org, we done with it. We done with this part of it. Now we are about to do this image size, this one. Everything that is here, we are about to do it. This in the center, we are about to do it now. So like what I'm saying now, if you come here to our page, you run it, you see, when we run it, now this part of this program is in one session. Is in one session. Now we are about to do another sessions of our program. We are about to do another sessions of our program. So what flex container does is that it helps to simplify our program. Now anything that we do here now is another session. We can make changes here. It will not affect any other place except for this session. So now we are about to move to the next step of our program that will help to simplify our work so we can best understand. But before then, I just want you to go to this code the last time for these sessions so you can understand that you cannot pass over anything easily. Cut from this, the top. Now scroll down, I'll scroll down. Okay, so this is the part of our program. Now we are about to write another sections of the program down here that will help to complete the part of the web page design. So as we proceed, we start with our classes, start writing our classes for the HTML tag. Okay, so like if you could remember, like usually we try to write like here, we write like style, and this under this, like in this category or this in this section, is where we will be writing the CSS for this next part of our program, the next part of our web page. But on here now we are about to write like the HTML tag. So I will just paste what I want to write here, so you can see, you can read this very, very clear. You can read this. Now you will see that this page up here is they are under the same section, but in different category, because of the flex container. The flex container helps to modify our work so that we can do anything at any time without being affected, or other work being affected by it, other pages of our work being affected. So now because of flex container, we have another sessions here, another session here. So I just want you to read this, take your time and read it. But why did I change? Sometimes others would want to know why up there we got flex container and here we got flex caption. It's because they are on the same page, and they are if I make the name the same, it becomes problem, and like that easily maybe the code will corrupt, the instructions from this code will go like the instruction to the other code. So what I usually do is that I change the name, and so that I can easily understand what I'm doing. So up there you got flex container, and here you got flex caption. It's the same thing, but I just change the class so that I cannot have trouble in doing the work or in making of the page. So you can change your class name to anything you want, but all you should do is that remember, as you change your class name, if you are using HTML, CSS, or you are using JavaScript, you should also use that same name of the class that you change. Yes, you should use the name that you change the first class to. So now please try to read this as like you see now. Try to read exactly as you see this part of the session. Yes, try to write it. Please, there is nothing different here. Everything here is the same. I just want you to see. No jump over. I'm going back so you can see. My main aim is that you understand everything that I'm doing here. And if for any reason you don't understand anything that I'm doing, you message me through my WhatsApp or my email. I will leave my email behind, and that of my WhatsApp number. You can add me and you message me. Or for some other things you want to know, you can contact me through my WhatsApp number, and easily we can communicate. Please take your time to write everything that you see here. Take your time. So now you can see this, and you can read this part of the class. This section of the class, you can write it. Yeah, so now after finish writing this, I just want to run it to see if including this class have impact on our program. So I try to run it now so you can see what I'm talking about. So you see, because they are not identified, or they are not being like linked with CSS to design. So what happens is that everything that we read, it just go up. You see now? So this is what we just include in our program. Everything here we just include it now, and it is not making any impact now because there is no CSS for it. So there is no color, nothing. It's just absolutely according to the instructions we give it with that of the HTML tag. So now we are about to include the CSS, which we will include it here in this section, this style. Like I told you, if you want to write JavaScript here, you can put like script, and you can write JavaScript in between here, and it will take the infed here. But now we are not writing JavaScript here, so we want to write a CSS. So CSS, usually CSS has to do with like starting of the web page. So that's why I usually like, at most cases people use style. Yes, and then when you write in between of the style, depending on what you want the CSS, the HTML tag to do, you just write or what you want on your web page. So now here, after writing the class of the page, I just want you to see, now we are about to write the CSS styling now that will help to make our page better. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so now I just included the CSS for this page, this part of the sessions, this part of the flex caption. Now I'm not dealing with the flex container anymore because we finished with everything that needed for the flex container, the HTML tag and that of the CSS to do the web design. But now it's another sections of the flex container, which is flex caption, and I just wrote the CSS, the HTML for it. This is it, and I need you to write it, and then after that I included the CSS for it to do the design. So I take you to the code so you can see. Now this is it, you got here dot flex container. This is calling the class of this section, the class of the flex container. I call this is the class name flex caption. So I call the class here, say flex caption display flex. So as you write display flex here, it display the flex, the sections of the flex you want everything to be. Then you say justify content. The justify content has to do with separating the that flex from another flex that is not under this section, that is not under this section called flex container. So everything that is written here is for a reason. Now you got align items. So that is separating items from each other. Everything that that will use in these sections of the flex container, I allow it so that they cannot link with another thing or it cannot part over each others. So they are all different into different categories. Yeah. Then you got the height, and then the positions. In most cases, the position is absolute. That means it should like be in the center of the web page or this, depending on what you want. And then you got a margin. I want it always to be at the top of the page and in align with other parts of the session. So I put margin, and then the background should always be in the center like that. And then the background should cover not only to be in the center, but it should cover the page, the section of the page I want to for it to be. And then you got an image, like I told you always, depending on what you want. You can change the image, you can change it to the color of what you want. But in most cases, I like to use color in my images in my web design. So I always use image, I don't use color. But I will show you the difference, how it works. Now I just want to take you to the code so you can see what I'm talking about. So you write from here, which is the new part of the session here. So please take your time, like I said, take your time to write them. You see? So you see here. So like I said, this is a new part of the sessions, new part of the flex. You can see that. Okay, the margin here, anything you want. So like I said, all these things here, they are classes. This is container 3 and this is container 3. Container 3 the content. Anything that has to do with this container, the content of this container is here. Now, this is class book now. Everything that I want to be in this class, it will always appear in this class. Like now, I will insert the class of this book so that it can take actions and then you can see the difference. But before then, I want to run the program so you can see how far and the effort we have made. Okay, so here we run it. You see, now this is what we have. We just inserted this, all these things, and the design. You see, everything over is flowing well, everything is good, and we just inserted this. Now, okay, now let me tell you how the background image works. Because in most cases I use images here, I didn't use the color of the compiler. So sometimes others don't want to use image, they just like right here background color. So when you write this background color, there are a lot of color that will come, but at times if you are not seeing the options of the kinds of color you want, you usually write what you want. Yeah, that you usually write what you want, or like you write like uh, pink, and then it will come, or yellow, it will come depending on anything you want. But in most cases, we usually like write what we want like that. So yeah, I will just choose like uh, any color. Maybe I choose violet, or maybe I choose yellow. So like that, it helps. And then I run it. Now you see now, like the whole image of the web page has changed. The color has changed because I have made a difference. I have changed something from the page, from the inner part of the page. So this is another session. Now this is the important I told you about the flex container. The flex container is something that simplifies your work, how you can work better and work smoothly without finding conflict with that of the session by session. Now, what do I mean? Meaning is that since we changed this color, these sessions of our page, it didn't affect anything yet. This part is another session. This part here is another session of our page. No matter what I do here, how I do or what I will do, it will not affect this part from here yet. It will not affect it. They are on the same web page, they are under the same category. It's good, yes, but they are in different sections of the flex. They are in different sections. No matter what changes I make here, it will not affect this because they are all under different categories. But they are the flex sessions is quite different. So this is the difference I was telling you about. So so depending on what you want, you can also change the color to green. So you can now know that if something is stable, you can change the color to green, and you see what I'm talking about. You see, as you change the color to green, it changes. Anything you do here, it changes depending on what you want to do. That's how like it works at times. Now here, now let's come back. I just want to pull this back. Now, here is something I told you previously, like how the background works. You see this part of the our program, this part of the sessions is under this flex caption. Now, here I'm the one who lighting this page, this part, so that I can write, and then when I write, I can see what is on. So like now I can change the color to blue. Okay, let's see. And you see what happens. So now it changes, right? It changes. Anything that I do here is changed. Depending on what I want, it changes immediately and without affecting any part of the sessions. Any part. So like now, let's put the image back, let's put everything back, and I'll tell you how it works and something. Okay. So now let's run it and see if everything is okay. So now we got our image back. I just put the same image that I needed. I put it back. And then you got the same thing here. Now I just want you to see the differences between these two things when you are using opacity. Here because I want to write on the page, so I use opacity 0.7. Now let me use opacity 0.1. You see? Writing it, you still have something here, but it's very light. Maybe they have used too much. Let me use 0.4. Okay, so you can see how opacity can make the page very lighter. You see, now it's very lighter. It helps like to make your pictures, the upper pictures, to be transparent, so that you can see what is on the pictures. It's like a design. It's a design between HTML and that of CSS. Yes. So it's a CSS design really to be right. It's a CSS part of the session that helps to lighten the pictures, to make the pictures more transparent, so that you can easily write over it depending on what you want. So let me say 0.9. You see? Now you see it's very dark. It's whiter than it was, and then but it's still transparent. It's whiter than it was. It's still transparent. Now let's move the transparent, and you see what I'm talking about. You see now, you cannot see anything on now because it's no longer transparent anymore. You cannot see anything on it. You cannot see anything absolutely on it now. So this is the importance of using opacity. And then like the radars, here I say radar none. Sometimes it depends on what you want and how you want it, like that. The background position center, depending what if I move like the background positions here. Okay, let's see how it works if we remove it. Excuse me. Let's see now the weight. Okay, flex container. Okay, yeah, it's on a flex container weight. So now this is how it works. I just want to take you to the code to see the relationship between them and uh, how everything are linked. You have to try this by yourself. You have to try this all by yourself and see how it really works. Maybe I say relative. Let me see what happens. So now, because I say relative, all these things now they changes. You see, the changes to the position they were not, because I said relative. So that's how these things actually work, depending on the instruction you want to give them. After this tutorial, you can try by yourself and you see how every one of them work. And if you have comments, please leave it below so I can like get your view and to make more videos on this web page design and some other ones that are recommended by you. So now I just want you to know and see the codes for this session. Remember, this session here is another part, and this session is another part. At first we got flex container, and now we got flex caption. So this session is another part, and we are still writing the CSS for this session. Now let's continue with the CSS for this session to see how it actually works. Okay, so like I just included another part of the CSS that support these sections of the flex caption, which is book now, the book now class, this one, okay, where you got like book now, this is the class, and I just included it with some other classes. This one has to do with the summer vacations and spend vacations. You see, so here you got like spend vacations and you got summer vacations and everything. Now, what actually I have to use these things is that sometimes too, I just want you to tell you some few secrets of how to work when you are programming or you are working on a web page design. That is to simplify your work. That's one of the fundamental. If you simplify your work that someone can understand your code and understand what you did, it helps a lot, because it's not all about what you make, it's about what you give out there. So you can be the best person to write a code or how to write a code is good, yes, but other people have to understand what you are writing so that it can make impact, depending on if you want. But in most cases, I advise that when you write your code, so that other people can understand. So what do I mean? Meaning is that I mean like here I got the classes here. You got book now, and you got summer vacations. You got spend vacation. These are all names or some other phrases that I use like to identify my class. So now if I come here to this class, I say like summer vacation, I know definitely that yeah, it refers to this. I have the right to change the name to anything I want, but in most cases, you give the name related to exactly what you are doing, then you can easily identify your page. You can easily identify your page and how you can make changes very, very quick and easily. Maybe you are working like in your entity and a very very large project that group of people are working, or you guys are in group working, and you read something that someone can understand and easily relate to it. It's not all about what you understand, it's about what you gave out there. So as a advice to you, I just want you to know that sometimes you writing these things, make it simplify your work so that it can make impact, not just about coding. No, that is not all about it. It's about making the impact. So okay, so now I just want you to see the class, and the classes are just inserted. You can see them. Okay, you can see. So I just inserted these classes. Please write everything like you see here. Everything here you see, write them. Okay, you see here, write them here. Okay, so now under this flex caption, I wrote everything here you see here. Okay, okay, and here. So please, if I'm scoring the marks very faster, please pause this tutorial and then write everything as you see so that you cannot pass over anything. You can change the image to anything you want once it's in the package, is in the file of your work. You can change it. Once you insert anything, it will come. Like sometimes maybe I want to say mini 8, because like this these pictures this main8 is in the file that I'm working, I can just insert the name here and it will come automatically. Here you got main8, main7, and you got main8, and you got main6. So I just changed the name to main8 now. But before then, I just want you to see the changes I make with this one first. So let's run it first and see what we're talking about. So you see now, because of this now is into one category. You see, because of this now is clear and is into one category. You see, as you go over it, you see. Now, there's something that I want you to know. That is, when you come over the mouse, automatically once you scroll over it changes the color. It's like hover. Now, I want you to see the code for it, which I have not talked about. I want you to see. Now, this is the code for it. You see, the background color should be green and then the hover should be red. You see, now let me say the hover should be pink so you can know the difference from what I'm talking about. uh, uh okay, so let's see. So now you see, once I come over it's like it's pink because I want that when the mouse scroll over it should turn to pink. But in most cases, I usually use red. Like for this one, I use red, and now I just want you to see the difference. Like depending on the instructions you gave to the page from the CSS, exactly that what will happen. Anything you give, it will bring out automatically. Once it's the right one you inserted, it will come up. So I just want you to know. Now let's change it back so we cannot get lost. Let's change it back to unreached. Yeah, okay. So now I want you to see from here, see the code, see the code, see the code, see the code, and something like that. You see the code, something like that. This is the code for it. This is the code for it. From here. Now I want to change the lighting it easily so you can see the opacity. Let's make it 3 of the white pictures and the flex container. Right? Now you see it's a little bit whiter now because I change the opacity. It's a little bit whiter now so you can see the difference. Or maybe let me use like 6 is good. 6 is okay. Now what happens since I use 6? You see now, this is what we have is a little bit lighter, but not very lighter now. Yeah, like before. So after creating this is the end of this class, and we are going to move to the next class. Now, like if you come here, you run the program from what we saw today. This part wherein you can write instructions that will not affect this. Now we are about to do this part, and then this part 2, we are also about to do this. You see, so we are going to do now, like I told you before, how to write on pictures, on images like that. So on transparent images, how to write on them is the next part we're about to move to so you can see how it works. Okay, so we come back here to our class in the same session. I don't want you to get lost so you can know what we are dealing with here. So you see here, everything is still on the same sessions, on the same session, on the same session. Here is on the same session. This is flex continuous end here from up down the end. Now we are coming to another session which is flex caption. You see here, this is the CSS for the flex caption. This is the CSS for it. This is it. And then this is the HTML for the flex caption. Another part of the program. Now we are moving to the next. Let's move to the next so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so like at most cases we usually write like a style which we can insert our CSS, and then we write the HTML tag and then the HTML section. So now this is another part of the sessions that what I told you about flex container. It helps to simplify our work. But in these sessions, I didn't use flex container. I just say web page or something like that, or anything you want like that for that of your sessions of the flex container. just give the name, and then it should be different from the other names of some other classes. Like we use flex caption here. Now we cannot use flex caption as a class here for the HTML tag container. So here we use another name, so it can be quite different. What am I using another name? Is because I don't want that anything that I do here as for changes, it will affect this session, because they are all on the same page, they are all on one category, but they are in different sections, so that our changes can be made easily. So what I did was, after writing this, you should know that this part is part of flex caption. This is a new part. This is a new session I just inserted. I want you to write it, and then I will also paste like the HTML, the CSS tag here, so you can see what I'm talking about and you can know the difference from what I'm talking about. Yeah, like that. So this is the CSS tag for it as the instructions. This is the CSS tag for it. So you can write everything you see here. Now this is the writing design, sans serif, and then like depending on what you want, the center of that of the image you want, the weight of the image, the padding of the image, text align, text should be aligned in the center or something. But before then, let's run it to see how it works. Then we can go into the codes. So here, now this is the design of it. You see, if you can over here, like it change the color. Now this is it, because you gave the instructions today that you said text should align in the center. You see, background position in the center. Then you got text align in the center. So everything you say, it happens as according to your instructions given. So you see, everything here works very smoothly, and depending on the information you want to be down, you want to insert. So these are the information. So this is another last part of our page making. This is the last part of our page. So you can go over it and see what I'm talking about. After writing this, I'm about to take you to the code and everything that we wrote from beginning, so you can see step by step. You can see what I'm talking about, and you see how it works smoothly, so we cannot have anything messed up. But before then, I just want you to see lastly what you have created. I'm about to take you to the code and to see. Thank you, and thank you for the hard work. One thing I want to leave with you is that I just want you to know that even if it is your first time doing this, it will take you a much time. You cannot get everything, meaning that the meaning, all the instructions of the code and how it works, you cannot get it in one day time. But as times go by, you continue practicing step by step. It will help a lot. I want to take you to the code so that you cannot pass over anything. But before then, I want you to see this is my WhatsApp number. You can message me depending on if you didn't get anything well from this tutorial or some other information you didn't get. You can message me. You can contact me. But please subscribe so that I can do more tutorial like this and some other tutorial as relating to that of JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Java animation, C++, C language, database, Python, and others. Please subscribe. Through your subscription will help me to do more tutorial on video for these languages. And some other thing maybe you want me to teach and that are not listed here, you can please comment below. And I also need your comment so that it can help to improve the teaching, and then some other thing that you didn't get, it can help to improve it for some other tutorial. Please subscribe and comment below. Please, for more video, please hit the notification button so that whenever I upload a new video, you can get it, and so we can be together. Okay. So now before then, I just want to take you to the code from the beginning. So I will go over a session per session, so you can see, and then like that. So this is it, and I'm still scrolling down. This is another sessions of our code we just wrote for the flex caption. This up here is from down to up here is that of the flex container sessions, and here is flex caption. So please, we go into it. You see, please take note of all these instructions in green that I wrote. They are just like a comment so that you cannot easily forget. Write everything as you see it. Don't jump over anything, please. And this is the end of the flex caption. And now we begin with that of the web page, something like that. And you just insert this class. So I can bring closer so you can see. Yeah, like here. This one is not very much. It's just a simple part of it. From here it ends, from up here it ends down. Yeah. So this is the ending. But before you leave, please wait so that I can show you some other tutorial video coming up soon for our designing, our page design, so you can see, like for this one that I link, you can see like you got some advanced page making like this one. The tutorial will be coming up soon. Like I said, please, I need your comment and I need your subscription so that I can able to do some of these things and that I can help, please. So I really need your subscription. This is it, and this is another page, so you can see they are all link pages. You see, they are all link pages that are created. They are all linked. You see, they are all link pages. This is a very big program. I'm just teaching sessions of the tutorial, so you can see I'm just taking you to it. And then I got some here. You see, and all these background pages they are all made. You can see that some of the pictures I can recommend a link to you so you can get them, or I can send it to you if you need them. So most of these things, and then some of these things too, I got the HTML design for you to see how like image slide over one another, something like that. You see all these instructions like that. You see, so like that, you see what happens here as information pass over. You see pictures, this picture will continue to pass back and then so I, there is a tutorial coming soon for this one too. You will, so please hit the notification button so you can have awareness when I bring the tutorial for this. But before then, let's move. Okay, so you can see I also have like image on like something like I show you this, where you got administrator and then like you got something example like this. Okay, so you just got image slide over with instructions like how to write over image, all these things like that. So you see, So I just need you to see all these things and how it works. Please, I need your subscriptions to support this channel so that we can do more videos on this and how things can work together like that. I got some other things like you see, define beauty. These are all like JavaScript and that of CSS that I use just for designing. You can write on this page and you can do anything you want like that. So there are couples of videos coming up soon, and when those videos come out, I will let you know like that. But before then, please subscribe so that we can work it up together. And now, and lastly, I just want you to see this is my contact, and please subscribe for more video on this tutorial. Thank you so much. Thank you and have a good day.